Hundreds of veterans here in San Diego County currently have no place to call home. And while the number of our unsheltered vets locally has declined over the past several years, work is now underway to try to eliminate veteran homelessness for good. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Jesse's off tonight. CBS 8's Richard Allen has more on the steps now being taken, including a new congressional bill that could make a huge impact here in San Diego.
Well, that's right. This new legislation is called the Return Home to Housing Act and would significantly increase the amount of federal funding reimbursed for homeless veterans housing, a move that local organizations say they desperately need.
We would be able to serve more veterans, bottom line.
Dustin Potash is Veterans Director for the San Diego-based nonprofit Adjoin. A critical part of its mission is to secure housing for vets experiencing homelessness.
These veterans have, at one point in their lives, put their own lives on the line for people's freedoms.
He's encouraged by this new effort on the federal level, which would boost funding for many of the housing services they provide. While veteran homelessness countywide has decreased by about 30% over the past 4 years, there are, at last count, still about 700 homeless veterans in our region.
Our goal is really to have no homeless veterans out there at all.
Currently, housing organizations like Adjoin are reimbursed $59 daily for each veteran served. This new legislation, co-sponsored by San Diego Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs, would increase that rate by 74% to about $103 per day.
The more funds that we have, the more veterans we can serve, the more veterans we can get off the streets into permanent housing and give them the support they need.
In a statement, Jacobs said, quote, "The Return Home to Housing Act will ensure that we can provide more veterans with safe transitional housing as we continue to push for housing that's permanent, safe, and affordable." This comes just as San Diego County leaders recently committed to bringing an end to veteran homelessness.
It's very common for people to say thank you for your service, but I think that needs to actually mean something.
Supervisor Nathan Fletcher, a former Marine, spearheaded this new move to strategically coordinate available resources throughout the region to combat veteran homelessness so they can work together.
I believe that there is the path for us if we can get all of these pieces aligned.
And according to the Congressional Budget Office, this newly proposed federal legislation would cost about $574 million over the next decade. If passed, it would go into effect immediately.